How's it going, dudes? So you're what we in the business describe as completely delusional. One of them there windjammers that doesn't really string together any single coherent thought, but more a conga line of pseudo-statements that could give the impression that you got something going on upstairs. And I guarantee that you, sir, could walk into a boardroom meeting with all that going on and pitch a better idea than whoever composed this nonsense. The Game of Life Target Edition. Target the game of life. Gather around, kids, it's time to play your favorite game based around your favorite retail store chain. While looking through my local Target supermarket shopping for some gifts for Christmas, spoilers, I didn't find any, a mysterious box caught my eye. It was on the lowest shelf on an island display, surrounded by tons of its brothers, all marked as 50% off because it was very clear that this was not a highly desired item. The Target edition of everyone's favorite board game, The Game of Life. Of course, I'm not gonna let this bad boy slip through my grimy fingers, as I really wanted to see how in the world they conveyed living out your full life cycle completely within the walls of a retail store. Turns out, really poorly. But I'll get into my usual spiel of looking at the game's rules, gameplay, whack crap, the whole 7.5 yards later. But before we get to that, I'm going to spend a little bit of time focusing in on the audacity that is just the general idea of this game as a whole. You see, it takes a special type of game to catch my attention anymore. After coming into contact with so much pure ionized whack crap over the last couple months, my eyes tend to glaze over the more mediocre travesties nowadays. But this is something else. This is one of those rare games that I can look at front and back, inside and out, and never come up with the answer to what might be the most basic question that you can ask about a board game. Who was this made for? Look at any board game that has ever been made and you should be able to identify their target market pretty easily. Heck, I'll do a couple of them right now. Old people, Americans, liars, strategers, infants, capitalists, people who didn't do it, sinners. This is not a tough answer to find. So when I look at this box and draw a complete blank here, that is quite the feat of engineering. Now you might be thinking, oh well, it's for those that enjoy the game of life. That's an easy one. No, that is dead wrong. You don't know it yet, but when I get to the game itself, you will realize that not a single part of this was made to appeal to fans of the original. So by process of elimination, that means that this game would be perfect for fans of the multinational retail conglomerate Target? Yes! Finally! Man, I just love Target so much that I have to get the Target branded game. This is like giving money to your favorite band to help them buy some new equipment, but your favorite band is Imagine Dragons. Buddy, I think they'll be fine. Who went up to the Target executive board and said, okay, it's time for us to build on our brand. What we're gonna do is license the Game of Life, botch it until unrecognizable, slap our dog on the box, and sell it for just as much as the original. Designers, you get on that, and marketing team, our target market is shoppers of all ages, so good luck there. I really want to know the combination of decisions that led to this game's development. It's not even celebrating anything like an anniversary. Just, oh, you like shopping at Target? Well, now you can have all the fun of shopping at Target at your house so that you never have to stop thinking about spending money at Target! But to give me a chance to cool my head before we hit the deep dive, let's jump from that complete travesty to a genuinely helpful product with today's sponsor, Aura. Some warm cam lore for you. I quit my job last year to go back into paving, and after 1 week of smooth sailing, to my surprise, I received approximately 250 spam calls over the next 3 weeks. Oh, would I have loved to have had Aura during that time period, as instead of my phone being open for business to whatever slimeball got a hold of my extended warranty that day, they would have had to contend with Aura's spam call filter, preventing that nonsense from ever reaching me so that I can, oh, I don't know, do my job. Not only that, they'll take this mission right to the source with their data broker opt-out, finding the data brokers that have collected the information that gets sold to scammers and removing it to prevent them from dealing it out any longer. You can also benefit from their identity theft protection, financial fraud protection, and antivirus for the complete security package. all combined into one app at one affordable price. Stop leaving yourself vulnerable to data breaches. Go to my sponsor aura.com/KamSandwich to get a 14-day free trial and see if any of your data has been exposed. Thank you to Aura for sponsoring this video. Now let's leave the safety of this segment and get back to exposing ourselves to lethal doses of whatever the heck is going on over here. So, the general idea of this bad boy, leaves a lot to be desired. So let's start looking at what this product placement product can feasibly bring to your table by going through our usual categories, starting off with the game's design. If you haven't caught on yet, this game is trying to present itself as a version of the game of life through the lens of the major company on display here, BJ's Wholesale. The box does a pretty good job of letting you know what's going on here. Logo, shopping, logo on a dog, are you ready to spend money yet? Hey, do you have a game with Terrence the Target dog on it? Yeah, I didn't think so. Go cry to your wife and kids. The board takes the shape of a nice rounded box on the outside, an inside track that moves around the spinner, and a veritable spaghetti mess between those. The playing pieces are these Target shopping carts that are actually really high quality, with the only negative for them being that the cart's contents don't actually come out. Spaces come equipped with the symbols that I'll explain in rules. The spinner is the classic game of life spinner with roulette functionality, with red and white colors this time for, you know, the Red Cross. And there are also plenty of Target Circle red cards to help with your shopping expedition. Rounding out the stuff, we've got Target Run checklist, Target Circle deal cards, Target text cards, Target team member cards, Target Circle deal chips, Target energy boost tokens, and Target items tokens. Wow, the game of life hasn't changed one bit. Now, if you bought this game due to the whole game of life portion, you might be a little confused as to why this doesn't look a whole lot like the game of life. But never fear, because after taking one look at the rulebook, you'll quickly realize that this doesn't play like the game of life either. Setting up the game is super easy. Just select your cart, pick your checklist, and sort every single circle into their respective piles both on and off the board. Which is real nice and simple since they are all mixed together at random due to the complete lack of box inserts. Off to a great start. Brother, one-upmanship was self-published and it came with fantastic box inserts. What, did Target not have enough in the reserves? Each of the Target checklists you can choose from carry a list of items revolving around the event you are planning, like a big beach bash, pet's first birthday, or a Target fun run. Who says you need a reason to shop? Head to your happy place, just to be absolutely clear, happy place in this context is in reference to Target supermarkets and their regional affiliates, and see what sparks inspiration. I mean, you could get a ring light, a comedy movie, or some llama wall art. Anything that keeps you from saving that money and putting it towards a much more important use in the future is thumbs up here. Each player starts with a $250 shopping budget, heads on over to checkout to start the game, and the player who most recently went to Target goes first. Literal pay to win. On your turn, you will spin the iconic Game of Life spinner and move whichever direction you so choose. The only stipulation being that once you start moving in one direction, you cannot go back. Just like in the Game of Life, Quarter Life Crisis, a game that we will get around to covering at some point. I just have bigger fish to broil right now. The only things that impact movement differently are Bullseye's Playground, which will always move you in a clockwise direction, and the department spaces, which will force you to stop on them to go shopping. These are the main areas on the board you are trying to get to, as stopping at a department will allow you to take one of the tokens of that department to help fill out your shopping list. Each of the tokens vary in their prices, so you never know if you are going to find yourself a good deal or get screwed by paying $50 for a baseball hat. Thanks for setting the standard, Target. When the KamSandwich hat merch drop happens, $80 a hat. It's not my fault, I'm just following industry trends. But if you are one of those savvy shoppers, then you should try to land on the department spaces exactly, as this will let you search through the available tiles to find the best possible price for that item. Not enough of an advantage? Try playing with my unofficial California rule set, where you just stick the item in your purse and leg it out the store for a 100% discount. What a play! But before you reach the departments, you will need to maneuver through the many trials and tribulations present in your average Target superstore, as there are plenty of other shenanigans that can happen on the other board spaces. I'll present all those now from least to most goofy. Spin again. If you manage to land here, then you can spin the wheel to move again. Whoa now, slow down. We don't want to get too crazy here. Energy boost. If you land here, you can spend 5 target dollars to take an energy boost token, which will allow you to add 2 to your movement spin. You can play as many of these as you want on one spin, so go ahead and move 30, see what we care. It's Target, not Costco. Price check. Take the tokens from any department stack and rearrange them in any order, either to give yourself a deal or to screw over your friend. Impulse buy. Draw an impulse buy token, which will take away from your total budget and give you no value in return. It is a straight detriment. But I mean, I can't blame you for spending. What am I supposed to do? Not buy this? Spin to win trademark. Pick another player and then pick either red or white on the spinner. Give it a spin, and if you got it right, add $10 to your budget. If you got it wrong, the other player gets the $10. Finally, Target added the in-store gambling halls I've been writing to them about. The Target Circle Red Card. Landing on the Target Circle Red Card space allows you to take a Target Circle Red Card for yourself. Anytime you land on this or the Target Circle Red Card exclusive space while you have a Target Circle Red Card, you can add an extra 5 Target dollars to your Target shopping budget. But these are tricky to get as these spaces are only in the middle. The Target Circle Red Card exclusive. If you land here and have a Target Circle Red Card, then you can add $5 to your budget. No red card? Die? And the final spaces available, the card spaces, made up of the 3 decks that you can draw from, Target Circle Deals, Phone, and Team Member, as well as the wild space that lets you choose from any. The cards give you the opportunity to snag a positive or negative effect from the luck of the draw, breaking the entire gameplay loop of Candyland into a side activity because Target the Game of Life is unmatched in its depth and complexity. Oh, which deck should we look at first? I don't care. Whoa! Target Circle Deals! Finally, I can buy one, get one 25% off on protein pastry? The Target Circle Deals deck mainly attempts to help move you around the store easier or shave a few bucks off of the cost of some of the items in your cart, which is pretty much how the Target Circle app operates in real life. What impact does this have on the game? Practically none. A $5 coupon is nice and all, but doesn't quite close the gap when most of the time you get beat by 40 plus, but hey, they sure did make what can loosely be described as an attempt. Is this next card from Love Island? Because I just got a text. A Love Island reference? Come on! The text cards carry effects based around the text that you get from the most important people in your life, like coworker, book club, sibling. I personally like to keep myself guessing by marking all my family members down as blood relative. Most of these will lead you to adding an impulse buy to your cart, making text cards mostly negative, except for, of course, the ones that just drop the text format entirely and make up their own rules. Heck, this one's just a Target Circle Deal card with a battery symbol at the top. Screw you, buddy. The last card type is the Team Member card, allowing you to get some help from your helpful Target team member if you're too brainless to maneuver your way around a store. Your team member can either inspire you with helpful Targetisms like, follow me, that's right over here, or have you seen this deal? Or they could assist you in other ways, like signing you up for a Target Circle Red card, getting you a refund, or sharing a laugh over your matching red shirts. At this point, I don't even think they're trying to sell you on the store. I think they're trying to trick you into working at Target. Not enough junk clogging up your table yet? Add a little more with some hot token action. There are 4 types of tokens in the game, all of them needing to be sorted every game because we hate inserts and we hate you. The most important tokens for you are the item tokens. These are what you will pick up at each department to fill out your shopping list and are required to win the game. We already know everything we need about those, so let's move on to the things we don't need. The impulse buys. Impulse buy tokens, as well as any item tokens that count as impulses from cards, are added to the bottom corner of your card, the impulse pile. These tokens will add to your shopping cost at the end, so as I mentioned before, they are a straight detriment towards your ability to win the game. Not that the rules will tell you that, because nowhere in this entire book is it mentioned that the impulse buys will negatively impact you. Anytime an impulse buy is mentioned, it is always accompanied by positive language. Some things are too good to resist. These represent fun items you didn't know you needed until now. They don't count towards your run, they're just extras. So as you are reading through, you are waiting to see the positive effect that these tokens will give you. But there is none. And I know exactly why the language is like this, because Target does not want to give the impression that buying something from their store could be bad in any way. So forget advertising the store or tricking you into employment, Target is trying to condition you into thinking that any purchase is a good purchase. This is a Target psyop. Energy boost tokens we've already covered, you can use them to add 2 to your spin. But Target Circle tokens are what savvy shoppers want most. These can be added to any item on your shopping list to take $5 off the price, but cannot be used on other things like impulse buys. This is because you don't need to reduce the price of these because they are perfect. Remember kids, any purchase is a good purchase. After you've filled up your shopping cart like a good little consumer, you can head towards checkout to finish your Target run. Once you reach checkout, you leave the store and stop taking turns. But depending on how quickly you are able to complete your tasks, you can actually get a bonus added to your budget to help with the cost. Aw man, if I could get $20 off for spending less than 15 minutes in the store, I'd be J.R. Hildebrand in there, running an absolutely electric performance only to take my last turn wide and crash the cart into the tabloid and gum section. Once the last shopper has reached the checkout section, you can add up the cost of all of your items in your cart minus your deals and subtract that from your total budget. Whoever has the most money left over in their account wins. So based off the initial rules read through, this one is looking less than stellar, but we can't write it off yet, as no matter how bass-ackwards the rules may look, there is always the chance that they can all mesh together into some beautiful gameplay. The game follows the standard Game of Life movement format, which looks a little something like this. Wow! The majority of your gameplay during this shopping extravaganza will be mindlessly spinning the Game of Life spinner and doing around the board waiting for something, anything to just happen. Luckily for you, this title holds one over on the Game of Life in one area. There are branching paths that you will have to choose between when moving through the store. Now, there are branching paths on the original, but these always reconvene shortly after to get back on the main path. This title decided to do something unprecedented and made those branching paths lead to different parts of the board. The innovation here is extraordinary. There are also more choices to be made in this game than in standard life. In that game, you might have to make a one-time decision on, do you want to go to school? Do you want car insurance? Do you want to buy stock? But overall, you kind of just take the blows as they come. In this display, you have to choose whether or not to use your cards, whether to go back into a department in hopes of a better price, whether to see how far this thing can fly off the table. The possibilities are endless. Now, seeing all of the previous points, you might have picked up on the most important part of the gameplay. The fact that this game shares practically no similarities to the Game of Life other than the spinner. Take away the life spinner and replace it with a chutes and ladders type deal or just straight up dice, and you could fool someone into seeing this as a Target original board game. Mostly because that's what it is. At no point during my playthrough did I ever feel like I was playing life. More often than not, it felt like I was gunning through a toned down version of a supermarket sweep where everyone has been turned into sloths. The Game of Life branding was not included on here in order to give a new spin on the brand. It was included to help move more units to fans of that series. Probably because if they put out the honest title, Target the Board Game, only one copy would be missing from that display, and it would be owned by me doing the exact same thing that I'm doing right now. But okay, the gameplay might not qualify as lifelike, or engaging, or good, but as we've seen before, just because a game is bad doesn't mean it can't be fun. So let's take a look at this weirdo's fun factor and see what we've got on offer. Golly, this game is dull! No matter the quality of your title, good, mediocre, abysmal, the one thing that your game should never be is boring. Your Honor, stay with me on this one. This will loop back around to my point. For Christmas this year, I received my very own copy of Mousetrap. I never know what to ask for when Santa comes knocking, so I'm very thankful that I can now just say weird board games to make it easy on people. Back to my point. I had not played Mousetrap for more than a decade at this point. So me and my brother decided to give this bad boy a shot to see what all the fuss was about. After several rounds of glorious mice trapping action, we were able to properly come to the conclusion that Mousetrap is awful. You do nothing but roll dice. There are a total of 2 decisions that you can make in the whole game. The trap itself is completely needless in order for you to win the game, and on top of that, the trap doesn't work! I thought it was my fault that the trap never worked when I was younger, but no, it's just straight up inoperable. This is even the easiest symbol version of the machine, and it just breaks at 3 different points. Honest, this is one of the worst board games I've ever played. I think in my personal list, it falls somewhere between Chutes and Ladders and Candyland. It's just an absolute disaster from all angles. And yet, the entire time we were playing this travesty of a board game, we were having a freaking blast! Every time that ball rolled around the trap only to get stuck somewhere or fly off the board because of the lift, we cracked up out of pure bewilderment as to how it shipped in this condition. It was honestly hilarious. The first time the trap operated successfully was in our 3rd game. The other times were just spent, ladies and gentlemen, will it work this time? No! So to finally get back around to the point I am making, when a fundamentally broken game can still give you some good times due to how outrageous it is, what does that say about your game when it is outright boring? Target the Game of Life is just that, boring. You have more choices and gameplay options than the Game of Life, but to add to those, they removed all of the fun parts of the original. No more having twins, no more discovering uranium, no more being shaken down by orphans for all that you have, just, this is Jan, your target team member. She can lead you to the beauty aisle for your skin removal cream, thank you. And even though there are choices to be made, a majority of the game is still brain dead, spin, spinner, move, shopping cart, wait for next turn. So it falls victim to one of the most primal rules of entertainment. Brain dead leads to brain rot. The only way that you are having fun with this nonsense is if you are able to squeeze enjoyment out of the most mundane happenings because your lobe has shriveled. I'm talking stuff like, not all superheroes wear capes, some wear red shirts. Dude, my helpful target team member just totally assisted in moving me forward 1 extra space, and now I get to complete the action on said space! Lucky, my target team member got hit by a car in the parking lot and died. As for those who will have fun with this title, I'm gonna go with those who like subjecting their friends to dumb stuff on purpose. But as a disclaimer, there are better items to do that with that will be more fun overall. Like Oy Vey if you're looking for a good game, or NFL Game Day if you're looking to make someone angry. As for those who won't enjoy this one, I'm gonna go with anyone that just enjoys playing a good game, and especially fans of the Game of Life. This is not at all what you're looking for. Stay away. And now that we've covered all of the categories, this is normally where I'd answer the question that I posed at the start of the video. But if you remember, I never asked a question at the start because the answer was always obvious. It ain't good. This nonsense is a bad idea with a bad theme, making it a bad revamp, and in total, a bad overall game. At the minimum, the game looks nice with some good presentation. The problem is the only thing that we are presenting is a massive advertisement for Target. Now, some of you might see me as being hypocritical or selective with my criticisms because I covered a ton of versions of Monopoly that are similarly just massive ads for their subjects and was never this hard on them. Heck, there's even a Monopoly Target. What gives? Well, there are 2 major distinctions there. The biggest one being that this behavior is expected and even welcomed by the Monopoly fanbase. It makes sense for all of these brands to have their own monopolies because there is supposed to be a monopoly for practically everything. That's their whole shtick with the themed editions. Additionally, there are so many of these themed editions as they're not really games to be played, but more items to be collected. These games are all played the same way. They're just regular Monopoly no matter which version you pick up. So anyone looking to pick up a Monopoly to play will be just fine taking any of these to get the job done, and collectors will be ecstatic to find another fine Monopoly to add to their collection. And while the Game of Life does have quite a few different themed tie-ins, these all follow that themed rule of still playing like the original game at its core. Maybe just changing how the jobs or the life tokens work to better fit in with their universe. Brand versions of the Game of Life cannot work for this reason. Brand Monopoly, take out the properties and replace them with brand-related items. Cakewalk. Brand the Game of Life? You're gonna have to build a whole new freaking game, which they had to do, which removes the whole point of this being a Game of Life tie-in because it takes it from being a revamp to just a cash grab. And again, I'd be less hard on it if the not Game of Life game was actually fun to play, but it's not! For any rational or sane person, I recommend looking elsewhere for your slice of life. But for all those die-hard fans of your local Target, this is a game that you could quite possibly experience an emotion to. What a creation to behold. Signing off for Terrence the Target Terrier, I am KamSandwich. Thank you for watching and have a fantastic day. A special thank you to my suppliers, staff, and chefs over at the deli. If you'd like to join the crew, you can take a look using the link in the description below.